So I got asked on Instagram to answer the question, how did I quit caffeine and what was the withdrawals like? So I don't think I've ever made a video about caffeine. I don't think I've really shared my issue with caffeine. I'm sure some of you were caught on, but from the beginning of my YouTube career, maybe starting in 2011 before I started my YouTube channel, I started drinking something called Monster Energy. It seems harmless enough. All the extreme sports people were doing it, all the BMXers were doing it, so I gave it a go, and it's full of caffeine and sugar. That's basically the only two ingredients. And I started off as a pretty casual Monster drinker. The beginning of my YouTube channel in 2012, I was drinking maybe 1 or 2, 3 a week. I wasn't reliant on them for my energy because I was getting energy from like food and exercise and stuff. And then as YouTube started to progress and as people saw this hyperactive personality of mine and they started subscribing to it and liking it, I felt the pressure then to drink more of this stuff to keep that personality going. As you can see, I'm not that energetic. I'm a pretty normal behaving human. Slightly. But this hyperactive version of myself was all because of the sugar and the caffeine. So as my YouTube started to grow and as people were enjoying the videos that I was making, I would drink more and more. And towards 2013, 2014, I was on 1 a day. So I'd start in the morning, film a video, and then keep drinking it while I was editing, and then the can would be done. Like, the can would just sit there all day and I would just drink it gradually. It then became a problem because I moved in with a bunch of other YouTubers and they were also on caffeine. Not necessarily Monster, but we were all kind of on caffeine every day. So I was drinking 2, 3, sometimes 4 a day at that point. It was the only thing that I thought that would give me energy. I didn't realize you'd get energy from just eating and exercising. I wasn't really doing that anymore. I was just drinking caffeine and making videos. And it was great for the hyperactive personality of mine, but that's not a true representation of me. The videos were funny, I thought at the time, but the addiction was getting worse and worse. So I noticed that it was a problem and I started to cut down. Didn't really work. I managed to quit once for a couple months, and then I think it was the taste of Monster that I was missing. Probably not. I think that was the caffeine just tricking my brain into thinking that I enjoyed the taste of this disgusting brew. So I got back into it, and then it wasn't as bad as 4 a day, but it was pretty bad. I was doing a couple a day, and then I managed to quit. I think at the time I was also drinking alcohol, so I was combining alcohol and caffeine. Not good. So Monster and whatever I was drinking, I would combine them. So I was drinking a lot of the stuff. So when I quit alcohol in 2014, I managed to ease myself off of the caffeine. And it was around 2015, I think, that I finally quit. So I'm about 3 years sober from caffeine. Woo! The stuff is horrible. It's really toxic and you don't really notice it until you try and come off the stuff. The withdrawals are something like a heroin addict would go through. Probably not as extreme. I don't know, I've not done heroin. But it was tough. So every day I would wake up after not drinking, and obviously the urge to go out and buy one is there. But sometimes I'd push that away, and then it would be really hard to get out of bed. My limbs would feel heavy, like someone had just put bricks on me in my sleep. And then just moving around like a zombie. That lasted for weeks. I don't know how long the whole withdrawal process lasted, but it was probably a month probably. I was miserable, I was depressing, I was not fun to be around, which is complete opposite to what I was like on the stuff. On the stuff I was hyperactive and random and weird, and I don't know, people would hang out with me. But the friends that were around me at the time when I quit the stuff, they were probably the biggest reason I managed to not go back to it, not relapse, because they were very supportive and because they knew I had a massive problem with the stuff. Funny thing, I've never tried coffee or tea. It was just Monster Energy. That was really the one. I wasn't really a fan of anything else. So if you don't know much about Monster Energy, it has 80 milligrams per 8 ounces of the stuff. So per can is about 80 milligrams of caffeine. I think Starbucks is like 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine. So it's around a similar range to like an actual coffee from a Starbucks. So then when you're drinking 4 of those a day, it's not good. That's like 320 milligrams of caffeine circulating through my body. And on top of that, I was also drinking a lot of soda and other things, and eating a lot of candy. My sugar levels were so high. When you're on Monster, you get this huge burst of energy pretty fast while you're drinking it. And then that carries you through the day. You get to do things quicker. You feel more responsive to things. I don't know how true that is. It might just all be placebo. And then after a couple hours, you start crashing. So while I was crashing, I'd drink another one. And then that would keep me going. The more I drank, the less they would last. So they would start lasting less time. So that's how the 4-a-day problem began. So other withdrawal symptoms, I would get headaches, tremors sometimes, complete loss of energy, was very antisocial, very depressed. These are all common things for any kind of drug withdrawal, but caffeine is just brutal. It's so difficult. The headaches lasted at least a month. Every morning, throughout the day sometimes, it would just be a headache. I tried everything to get rid of it, and it just takes time. So that's my personal issue with the stuff. I get a lot of comments on my YouTube saying, Jason's now a druggie, that's all he cares about. What? Funny thing, I've been on drugs since day 1. So the first ever video, I was on caffeine. People don't like to associate caffeine with a drug, but it is a drug. It's addictive, and it's harmful. So I know that I now talk more openly about drugs, but back then, I was an alcoholic, and I was addicted to caffeine. I've always been on drugs. Right now, actually, I'm sober. So I've been sober for 2 weeks because I'm traveling. Usually when I travel hot countries, I don't need drugs for anything really. I don't need mushrooms for my depression. I don't need anything like that because I get everything I need from the earth. So caffeine in large amounts is actually toxic to the body. So now that you know my history with the stuff, I just wanted to give some advice to people that are trying to quit, because I know there's people out there that have tried to quit, probably many times, and it failed. It's not easy, and there's not a lot of help out there for it. I'm sure most of you out there drink caffeine in some way, or you consume it. It's in like Coca-Cola, it's in a lot of stuff you probably don't even realize. Just check the labels. It works as a nerval stimulant. It affects your brain and makes you feel more alert. I think that's why most people take it. It also stops you from falling asleep. So some people would take it when they're driving or working long shifts. Coming off the stuff, if you really wanted to get off it, ease your way off. I'd say if you're drinking 2 cups of coffee a day, cut down to 1, and then cut down to half. And then gradually work your way down to just nothing. Try not to go cold turkey. I think that's what I did, and it's not fun. It's really not fun. I should have eased my way down, but sometimes that's what it takes to quit an addiction. I often just go cold turkey. So if you're drinking the stuff in the morning, I would say drink a lot of water. Water is amazing. It does all sorts of great things for your body. But if you drink a lot of that, you're not going to want anything else to drink. That will help with the headaches. Being hydrated really helps with the headaches. Try not to take painkillers or anything like that to deal with the headaches, because that's just going to make you addicted to the painkillers instead. If you're surrounded by people that drink caffeine, distance yourself a little bit, or tell them that you're trying to recover, and maybe they'll understand and they'll not drink it around you, which is the preferable thing. But if they refuse, just distance yourself for a bit until you no longer feel the craving for that thing. If it's coffee, Monster, whatever. At first, the first month or the first 2 months, you'll feel like you never have any energy. And I thought I was a really boring person, or I was broken in some way, but it's not true. You just have to find energy from other things, like exercising in the morning. That works. That gives you a burst of energy throughout the day. It gets your blood flowing. Eating healthy, like plant-based diet, is great for giving you energy. You have to understand that if you're trying to quit this caffeine, it's going to take a while. The symptoms are going to be there. The withdrawal symptoms are going to be there for a while. And they're pretty persistent, pretty aggressive sometimes. Just try and fight them the best way you can. Try not to let it get you down. Tell your friends. Just tell people that you're trying to recover from this thing, and they'll help you in any way they can, I'm sure. But yeah, all I can say is don't go cold turkey. It sucks. Yeah, I'd like to reach out a hand if you have any kind of caffeine addiction or any other drug addiction. Feel free to talk to me. I like talking about drugs, and I like to help. So if I can help, leave me a comment if you're open to talking about it publicly. Also, if you leave a comment, then more people are likely to reply, giving you help if I don't reply fast enough. Other things, you can just reach out to me, Twitter, Instagram, anything really, and I'll see what I can do to help. If anybody out there is very comfortable with the amount of caffeine they're consuming, then I'd like to hear, how much are you consuming? Why do you take it? And how often do you take it? Yeah, how often do you take it? If you could answer those, that'd be great. I'm curious. Yeah, let me know in the comments. So hopefully that answers your question. If anybody else has a question, leave me a comment on this video or leave me a comment on Instagram and I'll screenshot it and you'll be the responsible for the next video. Be the responsible. You'll be responsible for the next video. I am sweating absolute pants right now. It's very hot here in where am I? I keep trying to say Malaysia. I'm in Myanmar. Beautiful location. Let me show you around. I'm in the middle of nowhere in a desert. Sun's beating down on me. It's about 85 degrees today in January. Yeah, so I thought I'll end the video here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to what I had to say. It's cool that I'm now at a stage with my YouTube channel where I can basically talk about anything I want and be comfortable with that. I don't feel any pressure now to make a certain type of thing, and I have nothing to hide. So yeah, I was addicted to this stuff. Luckily I got off it. If you have any more questions about me, my life, my drug history, anything really, leave them in the comments, I'll answer them. Leave a like on the video if you want, subscribe if you've never seen me before. I make all sorts of videos, not just drug stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.